Well, as Israel continues to besiege the Gaza Strip, it's also putting pressure on the occupied West Bank, ramping up both raids and illegal settlements. Israeli media is reporting that the government has approved 22 new illegal settlements on Palestinian land in the occupied West Bank. The UN says Israeli forces demolished more than 1,700 Palestinian buildings and homes and seized 24 square kilometres of land last year. Palestinians need Israeli military permits to build any structure in 61% of the occupied West Bank, and those are rarely approved. Our correspondent Nida Ibrahim is joining us on set. Put this into context for us. This seems like a large number of Israeli settlements.
Absolutely, Rob. This is the largest batch of illegal Israeli settlements to be approved in one decision. And we've learned from Israeli media that this decision was taken in the Security Cabinet last week. It was just made public in the past few hours, announced by the Israeli officials. This has been already a system that is in place in the occupied West Bank, illegal Israeli settlements being built and expanded. What's happening here now is that they are retroactively recognizing illegal settlement outposts that already exist. These happen when Israeli settlers come in, put a caravan or two, and then start expanding and expanding before the Israeli government gives them this recognition. But we are talking also about new illegal settlement buildings, settlements already that were not in existence. And what does that do is that kind of fills in the gaps of the places that were remaining for the Palestinians in the occupied West Bank. We've already been reporting for years now that Israeli settlements are strangling Palestinian communities inside the West Bank. And now these new settlements come in to kind of fill the gap and make a potential future Palestinian state almost impossible on the ground.
You were talking there about the fact that this is an ongoing process. We've seen this for many years, and yet this is a significantly large number. Talk to us about the timing of this. Why do you think it's ramping up at this point?
Well, there are so many factors. One of them is that eyes are on Gaza. People are talking about Gaza and the war and ending the war and diplomatic discussions in order to bring an end to the hostilities there. But what's happening in the occupied West Bank is not less serious. This is what Palestinians would tell you, that Israel is using this moment where everyone is looking at Gaza to cement its occupation in the occupied West Bank. Another element to this is that we're seeing more Western governments discussing, especially in Europe, recognizing the Palestinian state. We already had 5 countries last year acknowledge and recognize the Palestinian state as an attempt to preserve the two-state solution. What's happening now is that more and more countries are mulling and looking forward to recognize more the Palestinian state. That's why we've seen settler leaders in the occupied West Bank pressuring the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to basically impose more of sovereignty in the occupied West Bank, stress and cement their control by creating more and more illegal Israeli settlements and bring in more Israeli settlers.
Appreciate you breaking that down for us, Nida. Thank you very much indeed. Nida Ibrahim.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.